Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we are on the E36. We are gonna work on fixing the saggy door panel. I'm sure I'm not the only one that has this issue in their car. So this thing comes unglued from the actual door panel, and the clips and everything are in here. So therefore the door panel just comes off and gets stuck when you open the door. We're gonna get my little tools here. Manfit or whatever it is, but all the clip pullers and everything. I'm gonna go ahead, pull this door panel off. I'll show you what I used to glue it together, so it's not doing that anymore. This is a pretty simple task. I think there should be a bolt behind here, but obviously it's not holding on. And then there's two little black little plastic pieces. When you pop them out, there's two screws behind there. Pop them off and this door panel will come off, and there's going to be two plugs for the speakers. Pull them off and you got the door panel off. Alright, so I already popped the little plastic things off, and it seems like one screw was already lost. Took the other one out. This is actually you have to use a T20 Torx on it, so that's what the original ones are. If you still have original bolts, that's what it is, T20. Pulled it off, and well, this whole thing pretty much comes off. I'm gonna pull these wires off, and once the wires come off, you gotta pull these things off. Mine is cracked, but they'll still hold on once I glue it back in. So you gotta pull these off and pull these little pockets off, because you gotta glue them back on too. And you gotta pull this one off. Pull these brackets off. Well, I'll show you how to glue them back in and get this thing clipped back in. Let me show you guys how these come off. So these actually clip on to the back. So what I do is I just put something here and be careful not to break it. I don't know why they're so brittle, but so that's what you have. All right, now that I got all these pieces off, you can see a little bit of the door panels on here. So what I'll do is I'll take a razor blade and I will scrape this off, just so it has a better surface, I guess, to grab onto and stuff like this. So I'll clean all that up, and I'm gonna go ahead and, I guess somebody tried to hot glue this, so I'm gonna take this off, and I'm not gonna do much to this surface here. It's gonna stay as is, but I will show you what I use. I got the glue over here. I typically will use an ABS black cement that you use for your sewer lines, I guess, in the house. I'm gonna use this today. I think this will work perfectly fine as well, because you can use it for PVC and ABS and everything like that. The black one seems to have worked the best, but I'm gonna give this one a shot. This you can just get at your Lowe's or Home Depot or anything like that. So let me get this cleaned up, and I'm gonna start kind of gluing them in. Probably might want to test fit it and use a marker or something to mark them where they're gonna be. So once you put the cement on, you're not gonna see that stuff. Like this bracket here, obviously it will only go one way on here because of the bulge over here. You just kind of have to mark it where it's gonna go, where you have to glue it in. That way you kind of get it in the right place. So let me get to clean those pieces, put some of the cement on, and let it start drying. All right, I'm gonna start with this piece. Mix the glue up. What I'll do is I'm gonna apply it to this piece, because you kind of see and know where the glue has to go. If you look at the old leftover from the glue, I guess. And I don't know what they used before, but it seems like they used some kind of spray adhesive, which obviously doesn't last very long. So we want to make sure we use something a little bit better than what they used, just so it stays. And technically, I mean, this car is a 1989. It's what, over 20 years old. So if it lasts for another 20 years, you know, I think we'll be good. All right, so you want to put a good amount of glue on here, but not too much because you don't want it to go like all over your door panel, but just a good amount of glue and put it into place. All right. And I don't know if these will work. I have these little C-clamps that I got from I think Harbor Freight before at some point. What I'll do is I'll probably put them somehow on here and see if I can see if they'll hold anything at all. But it's fine the way it is probably, but I'm just gonna put just a little bit of pressure on them, just so it's glued in here. And I don't like how this is holding. This might be a little better. So this is pretty good for the most part. Doesn't seem like it needs a lot of pressure or anything. But what I'll do is I'll go over the edge with a little bit of more glue, just so I get a little bit better adhesion, I guess. Just along the edge, make sure it's all filled. I'll tell you what though, I like the black ABS cement. I like it better than this stuff, but I think this will hold perfectly fine. All right, let me show you what I got. So this is what I got right here. It's nice and firm in there. It's not moving. I just cover the edges just a little bit with the cement, so it gets a better grab on that. So this one should be done. Looks like this little tab right here is broken, and this is in the very front of the door panel. I don't think I'm gonna try to glue it back in because there's a little gap right here that can mess up the leather. So I might just leave this as is without that tab, because I'll glue this line right here, this little tab, and then the whole, this whole area right here, you want to apply a good amount of glue on there, because what's going to happen is that will go right in here. All right, so this one is glued in. I did this strip, this little tab, and I did a good amount on the back side of this and glued it back in. This looks like it's already tacking, so that's the thing with this cement. You know, if you don't put too much, it'll actually dry out pretty quick. But if you have a decent amount, you know, you want to give it a little bit of time to dry. So this one here, I'm gonna attempt to. I don't have enough hands for all this, but I'm gonna attempt to show you what I'm doing here. So here you just want a good amount on the back, because this is just flat. So you want a good amount to spread on there, that way it'll reach. When you squeeze it down, anything that's not needed, it's gonna just push out. You don't want to put a lot on this top strip here. You do want some, but you don't want a lot. So just something that's not gonna push out onto the leather on the other side. Let's see. I got some inside the pocket. All right, so make sure it's all spread. Then you want some here. Again, you have to be careful with the strips because you could potentially push some either inside the pocket or into your leather. You don't want to, you know, it's going to be a mess. So you want some on here, but you don't want too much. All right, and I got a little bit in here. I'll clean it up while it's still wet. Okay. And let's see if I can do this one-handed. All right, so kind of drops for the most part into place, but it still needs a little bit of finesse. So I want to do that and check the bottom. Let me see if I can show you. I think I see a little gap, but I'm trying to see if I can close it up. You really can't unless you keep pressure on it, so that's fine. It's not a big deal. All right, and then what I'll do is I'll do exactly the same thing I did here. I'm going to take some of this and I'm just going to do this line right here and this right here, and I'll do the same around here. But you got to be careful. If you get some on this side, this will go on the other side, so don't do that. Just the tips over here. And I don't think I want to do it here because I could get some over here, but I'll try and maybe see if I can get it to leak down from here. Then this one, this actually stays in place because of these little plastic rivets here, but if I go to move it, it actually comes up. So what I'll do is I'll try, once these glue in, I'll tip it on the side and I'll try to get some cement behind here by peeling it up a little bit, just so this kind of stays in place. And then I got to do that side. So that side, you got to make sure you do it correctly, the way you took it off. Make sure when you're gluing it in, you're gluing it correctly from where it was. Maybe mark it with something, and it has to go like this up to the leather. Actually, just a little bit over the leather. I think if you do it too much, it won't clip in, so you have to, it kind of has to go, it's not directly flush with the leather, but just a little bit below. You can tell by some of the old pieces that ripped off, I guess, when you put it up here, it's just below the leather line. And they glue in like that, and I'll probably wait till this dry because I'll probably tilt the door panel that side down so it doesn't want to slide off or anything. The other option is maybe put some tape on it, but I have time, so I'll tip it over and go from there. Then after all this is done, this to me looks like it's bent a little bit because the door panel was coming off and it was only holding off by this bolt. So what I'll probably do is when this is all finished, I'll tap this one down just a little bit, just so it's all, you know, it's all firm when it fits, nice and the way it's supposed to be. So we're almost done. We're halfway there. So I'm gonna continue this probably off camera. I'll show you more or less the finished product, but I think you guys get the idea of if you have these little C-clamps from Harbor Freight, they work pretty decent. If you wanna, you know, kind of squeeze some of the stuff together, keep it in place, they'll probably work not bad. You can probably use some tape. For the most part, this will work perfectly fine. Door panel is going to go back in and it's going to stay on for a long time. Let me show you the finished product. Hey, what's up guys? So I'm not finished all the way yet. I wanted to come back to this and show you because the way I was telling you to glue this in, I'm not sure if you guys understood, or I think I have a better way of showing you this. So on the back side here, there's a lip, and this lip is for the leather here. So when you're gluing it back in, you want to kind of set it in here and kind of slide it up until that lip stops on the leather. That's where you want it. So just a clarification, I guess, so it's not confusing, that there's a lip there that's for the leather on the door panel, and that's kind of where it's gonna sit in the proper correct place, so the door panel can clip back on. So let me get that glued in, and still haven't done this side, but these I went over the edges here, so that should be nice and sealed. For the most part, it's already dry, but I think the thicker, heavier stuff is not. So I carefully flip this over, and I'm going to glue this in, and I might try to get the glue in here from here. So if I can do it like this, I'm going to put the glue in this side and just let it sit here for a good half hour to an hour. Let it fully dry before I clip it back into the car. But let me glue this in and get some glue on this, and I think for the most part that'll be the finished product, so I'll show you shortly. All right guys, so it's been a little bit of time. Let me show you what I got. I actually went ahead and replaced all the clips because I knew some of them are going to be broken, so I was prepared. I actually ordered a pack of 100. They're easily available on eBay or anywhere else. So these are kind of stiff, and some of them are brittle. They're cracking, breaking. So I just decided to replace them. Technically, you should do this before you glue this in, but I wanted to check how the glue is holding, etc. So I glued everything in, and then I went to pry them out, and for the most part, I'm happy how this came out. I don't really like this glue. I really highly recommend you buy the black ABS cement from Home Depot. I think it's the same brand, but just the black one. And I remember why I liked it better, because if any of it leaks on the outside, on the black leather, you can't really, you can't see it, you can't really tell. That's why I liked it better. I think it's, when it dries, it's more stiffer than this. But I think for what I'm doing, I think this is fine. It's holding, it is gonna hold, and I'm just happy everything's good. I went ahead and I bent this a little bit back. Like I said, this was sticking out just a little bit, so I went ahead and bent it back. All new clips. I'm gonna go ahead and slap this back on the car, show you guys how it looks. Hey guys, welcome back. So it's a new day. I got distracted yesterday. I had a friend stop by, but I finished up the door panel today. Slapped it on. So there is supposed to be a bolt behind this little airbag clip. So make sure if you're pulling off or you're putting it back, put a bolt in there. I put 2 bolts back in here behind those little behind the little tabs. And then I am missing the little surround that goes around here. I'm gonna go ahead and order one and put that on. Other than that, the door panel is complete. It looks awesome. It's not coming off anywhere. The pockets are in here. Everything's good. Everything's nice, firm. The car is extremely dirty. I don't know if I want to show you this, but ever since I bought it, I haven't even washed it. So once we get a little bit past this, we'll go ahead and clean it up, and we'll clean up the seat and everything. And my next project is going to be the passenger door. I think I'll separate that in a different video, because we already know how to fix the door panel, but for some reason the outside door handle doesn't work, and the one in here is extremely difficult to pull. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna end the video right here. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the passenger door. We'll figure out why it doesn't open.